To make a job for operators to key in Unibase, the first thing we had to create was a record format. Remember the Playful Pals job? You had this sheet of information about it. This was the coupon. And you created a keying job that looked like this. Our data is keyed in the same order as it appears on the coupon. But the customer wants it in a different order. Well, we can access each field separately, so we can certainly put them in any order we want. Let's note down what our field numbers are. The first 5 are easy. Same order. This is field 1. This is field 2. 3. 4. 5. Now we did something a little different. We broke our date field up into 3 fields so we could range check it. So our date fields are fields 6, 7, and 8. That makes our gender field 9, and our A code, which we did as an omit field, field 10. Okay, let's go ahead and terminate our batch, and we're going to go to the Unibase main menu and release to proceed. And again we choose Advanced Processing, D for File Definition, and this time I said we're going to write a file output program, E. This menu looks the same as it did for file edits, so I guess we're going to create a program. And are we going to call it Play? Yes, we are. Using the same name makes it easy to know the program names associated with each job. Another blank screen. Where do we start? You'd better start with a note. How about note Playful Pals output 80 character record. And let's not forget our period. Now we need another job. How about another verb? We already have a job. Show and pause always display to the screen. But our customer doesn't want his data on the screen. That doesn't help. Instead, we're going to use the verb output. It works similarly to show or pause, except the data doesn't go to the screen. So where does it go? It goes wherever we tell it to at time of output. Am I avoiding telling you? Not really. The opportunity is that you specify where the data goes by using a device name in the standard job. We'll cover that in the next lesson after we write this output program. Okay, so I type output. What do we output? Let's look at our instruction sheet. If we were displaying this on the screen, the first thing we would show would be the zip code, because the customer wants it in output positions or columns 1 through 5. Okay? So we're going to output field 5. Next is the city. That's field 3. The state is next, which is field 4, but we have a space between the end of the city and the beginning of the state. We can do that. We'll put in a literal, quote, space, quote, and then field 4. What's next? Looks like it's the gender code. And we've got another space before it actually starts. And after that, we have the name field. Okay? Gender is field 9, and that's the name, 1. So let's put in 9, 1. Now, Between these two fields, we need another space. So we'll use our literal of a single space. And after the name field, before the next field starts, did I screw that up? Yes, I did. Huh. Okay. We want our single space here, and here we want 5 spaces. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But there's another way of doing it. That's a little hard to tell it's 5 spaces. Since it's all spaces, we can put the digit 5 right in front of the first quote and reduce this down to just 1 space. That's called a repeating literal. So what comes after the name field? The next thing is the address, but it's got 5 spaces too. So we'll go 5, quote, space, quote, and our address is field 2. What's next? Looks like it's the date, but we're going to have to be a little more careful because we want year, month, and day, and we keyed it as month, day, and year. And it looks like we also need these forward slashes in between. Okay. The year is field 8. The month is field 6. And the day is field 7. Now let's go back and put in the literals, quote, forward slash, quote, and quote, forward slash, quote, to give us those slashes between the year, the month, and the day. And I think we have only one more piece of information. Write our code, the letter A in column 80, and we'd better put a literal space for column 79. So we're going to go quote, space, quote, and field 10. And let's not forget that period. Have to have it. Will that do it? Yes, it will. But let me teach you another control function. You don't really need it for this program, but you may find it helps make sure you get things in the right column. The control function is skip. Let's look at it in the online manual. The manual says skip generates spaces through the specified position number, and this NNNN is the position number. But what exactly does that mean? Alright, let's show you. We'll go back to our program, and we're going to replace both of these 5-space literals with skip functions. The first one will be skip. Let's take out this first, then it will be skip 30. This means that the program will put spaces from wherever field 9 left off up to and including column 30. So the next field starts in column 31. And field 1, which is our name field, is supposed to start in column 31. Okay? Then the next one we'll replace with skip 50. So the next field has to start in column 51. Is this any better than literals? No, just a different technique. Might save counting the spaces between the data fields, though. And since this extended our stuff off the end of the line, and I agree we could go ahead and look at it, but let's go ahead and move this piece of the code down a line and indent it so that we know the second line is a continuation of the first line. I don't like to move my screen back and forth. I like to see it all sequential. Now we have to do all those things we were doing before. We have to first write out this program, F10W, and then exit with F10X, and we have to parse the program. And it's play. Easy to remember, isn't it? And we finished parsing. But how do we execute it? You probably remember seeing that on the Advanced Processing menu, we have this item called B, File Input Output Functions. And you're right, that's where we execute it. But we have to learn a few more things first. The next lesson will be about devices, where we send the data when we output it.